Hey, are you interested in learning and understanding how to form altered chords like this, and all the altered chords? You want to watch till the end of this video because I'm going to be showing you the powerful and the secret connection between augmented triads and suspended two chords. I'll see you after the introduction. One of the things I love about music is that there are so many ways to skin a cat. All right. Now, this is the dominant 7, sharp 5, sharp 9, which is also the altered chord that resolves to minor chords. Okay, so you can use a C altered chord to the F minor chord. Okay. Oh, to Jesus I surrender. That's the altered chord. Oh, to Him I free. So altered chords are the toast of gospel and jazz music, and you want to understand them because not only do these chords resolve to minor chords, this C altered chord also resolves to B major. Okay, so C altered goes to F minor, and C altered goes to B major. So two resolutions. Okay, two ways to resolve the altered chord. And in today's lesson, I'm going to be showing you a very powerful secret, and that's the connection between an augmented triad and an altered chord. If you want to form an augmented triad, first things first, there are only 4 augmented triads, and that's because augmented triads are also known as chords of limited transposition. And what this means is that once you understand the C augmented, you know the E augmented, and you know the G sharp augmented. These 3 chords are connected. It's not the exact spelling, but these chords are called symmetrical chords. And what this means is that from C to E, it's a major third, and E to G sharp is another major third. Combination of 2 major thirds, this chord can be broken down into 2 equal intervals. All right, so you have the C augmented, you have the C sharp or the D flat augmented, and you have the D augmented, and you have the D sharp or the E flat augmented. I'm going to show you how to form an altered chord using this augmented chord. First things first, this augmented chord is a multi-dimensional passing chord. This chord resolves up a half step from C to D flat. This chord resolves up a half step from E to F. So if I'm doing amazing grace, this chord will resolve from E to F. How sweet. And this same chord will resolve from G sharp to A. So there are 3 sides to an augmented chord. It's going to resolve a half step up from the bottom note, a half step up from the middle note, and a half step up from the top note. So C augmented is going to resolve up a half step to D flat. It's going to resolve up a half step to the F, and up a half step from G sharp to A. And it goes from major to minor. So of what uses this information, I'll tell you. If you want to form an altered chord, look at this. I'll take the 2 bottom notes and I'll form a Sus2 chord on the top note. So on the top note, I have G sharp. I'm going to use A flat. On the top note, I'll do an A flat sus2 chord. So sus2 chord is basically the combination of the first, second, and fifth tones of the scale. So here's a C augmented chord. I'm going to play C and E on the left hand with the A flat sus2, and I have an altered chord. As exciting as this is, that's not all. We can take it a step further by doing this. We can go to the next inversion of the C augmented chord, which is the E augmented chord. And we can play the bottom two notes on the left hand. And with the bottom two notes on the left hand, we go to the top note, which is C, and we do an augmented chord. And that gives you the E altered chord. Very easy. And we can also go to the next inversion of the C augmented chord, which gives us kind of like the A flat augmented chord, G sharp augmented chord. Once you play the bottom two notes on the left hand, all you have to do is to play the top note is E. I'll replace that with the E sus2. So check this out. C augmented, I'll play the bottom two notes on my left hand and the top note on my right hand. So C augmented, E augmented, and A flat augmented. Can somebody tell me in the chat the sus2 chord that goes with C augmented? So it's going to be C and E on the left hand. What augmented chord are we doing on the right hand? It's going to be the A flat. You're right. That gives me the C altered. Now, here's how these chords will resolve. And then you have this one. And then you have the next one. And then you can try this. These chords are very fantastic, okay? You can see I'm doing the D flat augmented, the bottom two notes on the left hand, and on the top note, I'm doing an A sus2 chord. So the best thing to do at this point is to learn all the sus2 chords on the piano, all the sus2 chords. Okay, so here are all the sus2 chords. So I'll give you some time to practice the sus2, which is a combination of the first, second, and fifth, 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 first, second, and fifth in all 12 keys. So how do you form the D flat augmented? Bottom two notes on the left hand, and on the top note, the sus2 chord. And the bottom two notes on the left hand, and on the top note, sus2 chord. That's your D augmented plus your B flat sus2. So with this, you can have your altered chord in all 12 keys on the keyboard, and you can move these chords around. Now, if you're an advanced player, all you need to do is to convert the bottom two notes from a third into a tenth. So here's how to play the bottom two notes of the C augmented. I'll go from C and E to C and E, and then I'll do this. So you see, that opens up the sound, okay? Okay. Now, it's still pretty much the same chord, but now with the tenth on the left hand. So look at this. Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because it's given Jesus Christ the Son. Give thanks. Okay, so altered chords are very beautiful. So all you need to do is take an augmented chord, C augmented, for an example, And what do you do to a C augmented chord? Play the bottom two notes on the left hand. And what's the top note of a C augmented chord? A flat, G sharp. And you play a sus2 chord. So that gives you an altered chord. And this will resolve to your F minor chord. All right, one more time. And you do the same thing to your G. Here's the G augmented chord. Play the bottom two notes on your left hand, and on the top note, play a sus2 chord. So it's a very simple process. All you need to do is to learn your augmented chord in all 12 keys. And if you want a way to cheat your way through and know your augmented chord, is basically a major triad that the fifth is raised. So if I know my F major, I know my F augmented. If I know my G major, I know my G augmented. If I also know my B flat major, I know my B flat augmented. If I know my E flat major, I know my E flat augmented chord. If I know my A major, I know my A augmented chord. Now with the A augmented chord, play the bottom two notes on the left hand and play the F sus2 on the right hand. Now look at this. If I'm in the key of C major, what a friend we have in G sus. Now look at this. All our sins and griefs too. That's the altered chord right there. To be. What a privilege. That's another altered chord, okay? What I have here is the G flat augmented chord, F sharp augmented chord. And I play the bottom two notes on the left hand, and on the top note, I'll do a sus2 chord. So this should help you as a musician to learn and master all your altered chords. So using just the C augmented, which is also going to give me the E augmented, and give me the A flat augmented, I can do this. Bottom two notes, A flat sus2. Bottom two notes, C sus2. Bottom two notes, E sus2. So look at this. These are all related. And if you're a jazz musician, you should be hearing the sound of what's it called, giant steps, you know, whilst I'm moving through those augmented chords. Okay, and you hear something like this. That's it for today. I'll definitely see you again. If you're watching, don't hesitate to let me know where you're watching from and your name. I want to give you a shout out. And if you love what I'm about, hit the like and the subscribe button. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell. I'll see you all again tomorrow. All the best and bye for now.